Here is a full tutorial on how you can use Higgsfield AI. So if we go straight into it now, this is the Higgsfield AI dashboard that I've got on my screen. First of all, let's look at the pricing structure of it. Now, first of all, I'm not affiliated with Higgsfield. I use Higgsfield a hell of a lot, to be honest, with all the videos and images that I create. I think it's a really good platform. And if you're not using a node-based system, it has a lot of models that you need to use. If we look at the plans now, so the annual plans that you can select, for example, is £39 a month, $39 a month for the ultimate plan, and that gives you 1,200 credits. So you're looking at that with 200 Kling 3.0 videos and 600 Nano Banana Pro generations. We'll go into a bit deeper on actually what the different generations gets you. Or for example, you could go for the $200 a month plan. So if we look at the dashboard now, this is the sort of interface that you get as soon as you go onto Higgsfield. You have the latest models, so you have Soul Cinema, which is coming out soon. You have a load of different things like all the other models that they have, things like Nano Banana Pro, 3.0 motion control, AI Influencer Studio, all these different models that you're likely going to use once you get your Higgsfield subscription. So if we go to the top here and we hover over image, you can see this is your image interface. So this is where you have your create an image, which is where you would essentially click on to create your image. So if we click on that, it will take us to our image dashboard where we have all our previous generations, which are here, and also the little box down here, which is what you're going to be using most of. If you click on auto at the bottom, this is going to give you the list of image generation models that are present within Higgsfield. We have our aspect ratio next, which essentially gives us the output of what the image is going to be. The resolution, so you can mixture between 2K and 4K, and then also the batch size. So if I was to select 2 here, this would output 2 specific images, and obviously the generation credits would go up by double. If, for example, I want to select Nano Banana Pro, which is Google's model, I want it in, for example, a 16:9 frame, I want it in 1K resolution, and I'm going to tick off extra free gens. You can see there that it's going to give us 2 generations. So let's say output me a Formula One car from the 2000s era on track. So that's essentially a prompt. This little plus button here is what you would use if, for example, you wanted to add reference images. But for this case, we're not going to. I'm just going to hit generate. As you can see there, I'm going to go off that, hit generate, and this will go into our little queue here, which is where essentially the image is going to wait. So then here we go, the image has been generated. So if I click on it here, you can see what it's outputted. So I asked for a Formula One car from the 2000s era, and this is what it's got. Obviously I didn't specify what car, I didn't specify what track, the weather, all these different things. It's something that you'll have to get into as much detail with when it comes to your prompting. But when you click on an image, you have all these different options at the bottom. So upscaling, if you upscale an image, this is increasing the resolution so it's more clearer. You also have things like enhance, relight, which essentially changes the direction of the lighting, and other things like in-paint and angles. If, for example, I wanted to download this, I would literally just hit download, or if I wanted to use the image again, I would click reference, and this reference is going to come up on the little dash here, which essentially means that we can use that image to use it again and again and again. If I wanted to reference it, for example, I could go off that and I would and you can see here that's called image 1. So I say, for example, using image 1, make this into a Williams, for example. I don't know, whatever it may be. But that is essentially referencing the previous image so that you can use it now. If we go back onto the image tab at the top, we have other things here, like I was talking about, relight, in-paint, upscale. Face swap is really good. This is a way that you can use 2 different images and swap the faces onto a different character, and all the other models on the side here. If we go over to video now then, this tab that's going to bring is going to be essentially the same as what we had for image, with the aspect of creating a video and then all the different models on the side. When it comes to the video generation models, Higgsfield is really, really good at offering loads of different things. Kling 3.0, as you can see here, 2.6, motion control, Grok, Sora 2, VO 3.1, C-Dance. There is lots and lots of things we can use here. If I click on generate video then, it's going to take us to our other dashboard, which is similar to the images, but a bit of a different layout. You can see here, if you want to change your model, you would hit change at the top. You have the drop down here of all the different models that you have, or an alternative way is going down here at the bottom where we have model. You can click on that and you can see things a bit more clearer. So say, for example, I wanted to use Kling 2.6, it would change 2.6 at the top here, and it would give us a different layout at the bottom. So for example, in some cases, different video generation models will only allow you to give a starting frame. They will only allow to give you certain video ingredients. So it will change the preset based on what model you select. You can also see for 2.6, for example, you can change the time duration from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, and you can also change the aspect ratio here. Obviously, as you also saw there, as I went from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, the generation has changed from 20 credits down to 10 credits. So this again is essentially what you're going to use when you're generating videos. If I go to edit video at the top here, this can be used to edit any previous videos that you have generated. I don't use this too much, but I know people that do, and it is a very useful tool. So for example, again, if you wanted to use Kling 01 for editing, you would upload a video that you wanted to edit, you would upload the image or the elements, so maybe it's a person or an object, and then in the prompt you would say something like this, like it's given you. You would say, I want to change the object in the person's hands from red to green. It would use Kling 01 or a different editing software like Motion Control or Grok, and then it would edit it for you. Motion Control is also a really cool one. Motion Control, like a lot of you guys may have seen, is when you can actually take an existing video and change the person or the object or whatever it may be within that video. So say there is a trending viral video of someone dancing, you can actually input your face or your character onto that person dancing so it looks like it is you actually doing this. And again, the way you would do this, for example, is adding your character, so maybe that is an image or a character of you, and you would add the motion to copy right here, which is essentially the video of what you'll be using. You then have the motion control softwares which you can use, which are the same as the editing software. 3.0 motion control is what I've used in the past. Kling 2.6 was its predecessor. Kling 3.0 is the most latest, and I think it is also the most powerful. Quality, as we have here, you can vary between 720 and 1080p. Obviously, the credits are going to increase by doing that because you're using more of Higgsfield's system to be able to generate this stuff. Now we've done image and video, let's head over to audio. Audio is really useful. I actually prompt my videos so that all the audio comes from the prompt, but you can change it so you can use things here like VoiceOver or 11 Labs V3, which again is a really powerful tool. If you want to do characters, this is where you can use Higgsfield's Soul, which is a really, really good model. So if we click on it here, you can see Soul ID character, and we can create a character here. You could upload a mixture of, say, 20 photos, for example, and it will generate all these photos in different settings based off what you see down here. Again, what we have is different settings, different locations and environments here based off the same character. What it does say to do, make sure you're not wearing glasses, make sure you don't have poor lighting or things covering the face, otherwise it's not going to get a very good output. Mood board is one of the latest things that's been added to Higgsfield, and if you guys don't know what a mood board is, it is essentially a collage or a collection of images which you can use to be inspired to create more images. I'm not going to build anything here for you, but just to run over what I'm showing here, you can see if you wanted a Y2K studio, you've got this sort of image generation here, an old smartphone style, you could use this mood board here, for example, and the list really does go on. Something that's really good with Higgsfield is that they give you just endless amounts of content to deal with, or endless amounts of like previous things that have occurred. So for example, on here, it's better to show you actually, they've got things like Siren, Mystique City, 2000s brand. Like there is so much options they give you, so you're not sort of thinking about what you have to generate. They have given you so much content here so that you can get inspired by what you want to do. Cinema Studio 2.0 is another big one. As you've seen here, I've done a video on this in the past with this Formula One car. As you can see, I like Formula One. I've done a lot of these videos, and it's essentially how you can create multi-different scenes in a cinema style of video. As you can see here, you can watch my previous video if you want a bit more of an in-depth tutorial, but you can play around with things here like the speed, you can play around with the impact, the duration, you can do start frames, end frames, different shots to actually build up this cinema style of video. If we go back then, I'm just going to head off this and I'm going to go to AI Influencer. AI Influencer is the last tab that we're going to visit throughout this video. And essentially, it is another way of creating a character, an avatar, an influencer, whatever you want to call it. And essentially, it's going to pre-generate it for you. You can either go to the right here where we have prompt, and you would do the prompt yourself to generate it, or you can use Higgsfield's builder function, which essentially means it will generate one for you based off the pre-selections that you do. So on the right here, we have human for the character type. You can select the different gender, different ethnicities. If we carry on going down here at the bottom, you have things like body type, the style, and essentially at the bottom as well, at the bottom of all these pages, you have the option of rendering style. So once you've selected this character preset that you want to do, you can then go and select if you want it hyper-realistic, if you want it in anime, if you want a cartoon, and you'll notice that down at the bottom here is everything that you have selected throughout this build function. As you can see, these are previous ones that I've generated. This is Ellison, so it gives you a name, and you can see the previous functions that I've selected for him. With Higgsfield, you do get free edits when it comes to the AI Influencer Studio, which is really good. So if you are starting out, I'd recommend heading to this tab and just having a play about with what you can do. Hopefully this video has been really helpful for you guys. I know a lot of people are wanting to learn about Higgsfield, which is why I have generated this video. In the top line of the description, there is also my community where you can access things like prompting frameworks, video generation techniques, and a whole load of other data about what I have created and what I want you guys to learn. Hopefully this video has been really helpful. If it has, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.